This is the third day of the CBI's investigation in Mumbai, and officials of the agency are currently at Sushant's residence to examine the area. The CBI has already quizzed the three people who were inside the house when Sushant was found dead. Sources are also telling Times Now that the statements of his roommate Siddharth Pithani, his cook Neeraj and manager Dipesh Sawant were not entirely consistent with each other. There were inaccuracies as well as discrepancies. We also understand Rhea is also likely to be summoned by the CBI soon. My colleagues have been tracking this case. Tamal Saha, he's been reporting from the CBI office where the questioning is on. Tamal, what's the latest at your end?
Well, Arthur, at the moment I'm outside Sushant Singh Rajput's residence because the team had come here. It's been over 2 hours that they're here, roughly about 2 hours precisely. And that is Sushant Singh Rajput's room. Now, that's a duplex where Sushant Singh Rajput used to stay. And there you see on the terrace, the forensic team over phone, having inspected the ground floor of the duplex and also checked the top floor. They have now gone on the terrace. And just now the forensic team, we have also seen CBI officials making rounds of both the floors, going up on the terrace and doing their own inspection. We have to understand, Arthur, this is the second day that CBI team has come down at Sushant Singh Rajput's residence with the forensic team for possibly the reconstruction of the crime scene. And it becomes extremely significant, not because they are trying to do reconstruction, but because they are trying to do reconstruction of with the same set of people who had so far claimed to be the witnesses in the case. We have to understand the morning began with Neeraj, Dipesh and also Siddharth Pithani coming down at the DRDO guest house to face CBI's interrogation, and that had started roughly around 9:20 in the morning. So it wasn't a joint interrogation. It wasn't together. So first, first came Siddharth Pithani, and then came Neeraj around 10:20, and then finally at around 11:40 or 11:50 came Dipesh. So all these people had been there at the DRDO guest house, have faced CBI questioning for the second day in a row, and Neeraj, minded, have been facing the CBI for the past 3 consecutive days. And then we see CBI team with their own battery of officers leave the DRDO guest house and come here with Neeraj. So possibly we are trying to, possibly given a sense, I would say, that Neeraj and Dipesh, who had been here at this very residence, their narration is now once again being corroborated with scenes that CBI is trying to figure out and unearth. So yesterday they have tried doing the reconstruction. Possibly they have given out more, and thus the reconstruction was important, or it became very necessary. So at this point in time, yes, there you see the CBI official on the window. I can ask my camera person Suraj Pandey to zoom once again, and the CBI officials are possibly trying to understand that, if something has happened inside that room, could that have missed the attention of anyone from outside? So they are possibly also trying to get a sense of the surrounding, because that is the very room. And even though there is too much of light and it's burning out, we cannot really zoom through that window. But I do see the fan on, and that's the fan which is very much under question. That's a ceiling fan which is very much under question, because that's the sense given out to Mumbai police that Sushant Singh Rajput had apparently committed suicide by hanging himself from that very ceiling fan. So CBI team since yesterday had been trying to inspect this very flat, which is in Bandra, his residence where he used to stay, and from where the body of Sushant Singh Rajput was found under mysterious circumstances. The CFSL team had been there yesterday. The CFSL team is here, today once again. And, it has been quite hectic beginning with Sunday, with regards to Sunday.
We're also getting visuals now of CBI officials using a camcorder, it looks like, to videotape the surroundings of the house. We have those visuals on our screen right now. They are, in fact, making sure that they get on videotape the surroundings of the area. Talk about that a bit.
Absolutely, Arthur, absolutely. And this is not something they are doing today for the first time. In fact, yesterday too, as soon as the CBI officials entered inside the premises, you have to understand the compound has a bungalow first, and behind that bungalow is that tall tower on which, in which the top two flats or other apartments as one duplex belonged to Sushant Singh Rajput, where he was staying in a rented arrangement. So yes, yesterday when CBI officials entered the compound, from the very gate they had started video recording the entire scene, because we know before arriving here, Neeraj had been at the CBI office, and Dipesh had been at the CBI office, and they had given their own narration. So when they stepped inside the compound for the first time, minded, they started video recording the scenes from the very gate, and today they are doing the exact same thing. And as I told you, Arthur, they are trying to understand by opening that window, by taking the blinds off, and see from the window the radius of the area, as whether if somebody is committing a crime in the day, during the day, with the blinds off, can that really catch the attention of anyone from outside? Possibly, that's a possibility, because the CBI team had gone on the terrace yesterday, the forensic team had gone up on the terrace today, so they are trying to understand here on the top floor if something has happened, or really something had happened. Could that have skipped the attention of people? We know there is a neighbor who had come out yesterday and said that on the night of June 13, she did not hear any sound of music, or no party was happening, and in fact the lights went off pretty early. So so we have to now wait and see what really CBI manages to find. But the very fact the CBI teams have come back to Sushant Singh Rajput's residence with the objective to do reconstruction of the crime scene, and that too with the key stakeholders, or rather key witnesses as they claim themselves, Neeraj and Dipesh, it makes it quite significant, because we know Dipesh, Neeraj, they have been at the CBI's office or CBI's accommodation place in the morning. They have faced the questioning. Dipesh faced it for the second time in a row today. Neeraj faced them for the third time in a row today, and they are back here. So, and there you see the forensic team is once again on the window.
There is some activity right outside. This, of course, is largely media outside the Sushant Singh Rajput erstwhile residence. Arunil, you spoke to the ultimate insider, somebody who was friends not just with Sushant Singh Rajput but also with Rhea, and she gave away certain startling revelations suggesting that the pills came from the father of Rhea. Also the fact that she put ghost stories or the supernatural stories in Sushant's head. What is the sense you get from this insider?
Well, these are startling revelations being made by an insider, a person who worked for actor Sushant Singh Rajput, who stayed in the same house. They used to party, Rhea Chakrabarti, Sushant Singh Rajput as well. And now the insider telling Times Now that ghost stories were purposely being fed to actor Sushant Singh Rajput. And when this friend also tried to stop Rhea Chakrabarti, telling her that such kind of things don't exist, such kind of supernatural things don't exist, she was being stopped and shunted. Now, why was that being done? That is the question that arises. And now the insider also says that some kind of medicines were given to actor Sushant Singh Rajput, medicines prescribed by Rhea Chakrabarti's own father. Yes, the father is a doctor, but now the friend is also saying that she was being made, sometimes she was being made to give these medicines to Sushant Singh Rajput as well. Now she says that when she took those medicines later on, they were extremely heavy. She said that there was a psychological impact on her, and she also mentioned about it, saying that at this time when she was taking it, she was with her family, but when Sushant was taking it, he was all alone, and that could have impacted him at that time. So if you look at the sequence of events, basically ghost stories being fed, and then later on medicines being given, and within 6 months of time, his death, it all culminating into a death, it really raises a major suspicion. The insider also spilling the beans, saying that it was Rhea Chakrabarti who controlled the entire house. She controlled the career of actor Sushant Singh Rajput as well. Right. Financially also, she only had all the control, debit cards, credit cards, and also a lot of outflow of the money used to happen, mainly on the shopping. That's what the insider has been revealing.